Well, Halito. Yeah, today I'm over at Bear Creek Park again. You know, I call it Bear Creek Park. Technically, it's Addicks Reservoir. But I think most people, well, I say most people just simply call it the Bear Creek Park. But yeah, there's a whole bunch of home sites that used to be out here. This is a German town before the Army Corps of Engineers decided to turn this into a floodplain. Yeah. So hopefully I can find some. This is more of a light, more of a exploratory hike, because these two little home sites should be kind of easy to get to. I'm hoping so. Yeah, we'll see. Let's see if I can get to them. You know, it's kind of funny. Back in the 1990s, 2000s, this area here had a lot of mystique and a lot of mysteriousness going on with it. And a lot of that was because of folklores and this little, you know, hand-me-down legends over the years. This trail here, I'm on here. This is a bike trail, hiking trail, whatever you want to call it. And back then, that wasn't here. Back then, in order to walk in a straight line, you had these little dots. Someone had spray painted little dots on trees, and that's how you found your way around this place. There was no trail really; it was just a bunch of dots. Dots wasn't random. Like here's one here. These dots were pretty much, you could almost follow them from tree to tree. Like I see another one up here, and kind of a straight line. And I guess sometime in the late 2000s, people who ride bicycles and stuff, mountain bikes, decided to make more of a permanent path. Like here's a dot right here. Yeah, that's one right there. Yeah, they're just kind of just painted on the trees. Another one over there. And that's how people kind of got around out here. That were hiking, looking for the upside down cross and other weird locations. Yeah, there's one here. That tree there has a little mark, white mark, spray paint mark on it. Yeah, that's how it was. I think over the years we kind of lose our little urban legends and stuff. Northeast Houston, kind of East Houston, kind of. Used to be the legend of the Goat Man. Used to be over there, and there was some old military fortifications, little military unit over there. They had some hardened bunkers and some other buildings and stuff and roads. And I have a guy I work with, and he said, yeah, back in his, I guess he grew up in that area, kind of. But he said back in his younger days, they used to hang out over there in the old military fort, abandoned military fort. He said back then, he'd go in some of the old buildings, and there were still files and machine, and equipment and stuff, and office stuff. But all the storage munition bunkers were pretty much empty. Just a place to hang out and smoke dope and stuff. But yeah, this place here has its own little mystiques and stuff, and it's kind of over the years kind of gotten disappointing. You know, we had the Blue Light Cemetery, which is behind me, about a half mile, 3/4 mile, something like that. And the Blue Light Cemetery was known for its, ghost activity and people going out there with their little boxes and stuff like that, trying to find ghosts and stuff. Supposedly it would glow blue at night, and you had to hike through the woods to find that old cemetery. By following the little dots. And nowadays there's a bike path that just goes right through it, and sort of the mysteriousness of it sort of disappeared, I think, a little bit. Oh wow, this is kind of new since last time I was here. But yeah, it's kind of lost its mystique, I guess you can say, a little bit, but still kind of cool. Now this is old foundation. On the survey maps, it shows it's here since 1915. That's the oldest our survey map goes. And so it's probably a little older, maybe a little older. That's a beautiful oak tree. I'm not sure what it was. There's according to the maps, there was a home site here, some kind of homestead here. What this was, I don't really know. It's kind of Kind of strange. I mean, my brain, would it be a front porch? Yeah, maybe. I don't know. Those little metal deals coming up with little telltales that something used to be there. I see a hole there. Hole there. Yeah, so there used to be some kind of border around this. Yeah, one of these days I'm gonna come out here and kind of explore this area more. I've been here more than a few times, and yeah, there's old fencing that zigzags that way, and it kind of the old pond over there. That pond's probably empty. Let me go check it out. But yeah, this has been here at least since 1915. Yeah, usually those kind of big trees kind of mark home sites and everything. There's the old foundation way over there. Let's see if I can right here. Yeah, years ago there was a YouTube channel. Some young guys that were out here hiking this very trail, and what is it, 6 years ago, 7 years ago? I don't know. I gotta look the channel up. I gotta wonder what happened to them, because the channel, I don't think it went everywhere. So it's kind of hard to build a channel and keep it momentum, because our channel's been around since forever and it has no momentum. It's crawling along. But yeah, they're out here trying to find the upside down cross. And from Google Maps, it looks like an upside down cross. Another pretty tree. It's a lot of pretty trees out here. But this from Google Maps, it looked like an upside down cross. But again, and they were talking about a story they heard, a legend they heard of a church, or witch's church, or Satan church, or something like that, that was out there and got fire and burned down, or was burnt down. And when it burned down, it left behind a upside down cross. Cool story. But no, this upside down cross is basically it's 4 stock ponds. Whoever owned that property had some cattle or had some animals, and got a tractor and dug this especially 4 ponds out and put fencing across it. So from the maps, from the air, it looks like an upside down cross. In reality, it's just a stock pond. Interesting clearing. See a lot of dead pine trees. So yeah, in fact, it wasn't a Satan church, and it wasn't upside down cross. Now it's gonna be very pretty once these trees get 20 years old, 30 years old. It'll just be a large row of pine trees. That's kind of cool how pine trees work. They're fast growing trees. Now there is 2 cemeteries out here. One is they call it the Blue Light Cemetery, or the Hollander Cemetery. Cemetery is called Hollandale. And there's another cemetery. A little white spot there. There's another cemetery on Pedersen and Highway 6. What was that? What's that called? That one is still maintained by I guess Addicks, City Houston, I guess maintained it, something like that. But I've heard rumors. I have heard rumors of another cemetery out here in this part of the woods. Now I'll look in the old survey maps, and usually any kind of cemetery or church is a cross or a little box that says CEM, cemetery, CEM. And I have not, all the scouring of maps of this area, have I seen a cemetery out here. But I've heard rumors of people saying there's a cemetery out here. Now, could it be a cemetery that's not on the maps? Maybe. See another property line there. Post there. More posts right there. Used to be a fence line here. We're about to come up to a ditch. Used to be a road right here. It was never paved. Just an old shell road, I guess it was. And this is a cattle crossing right here. Cattle grate. Now, probably back in the old days, this ditch here probably had a fence. Yeah, in fact, yeah, I see the fence post too here. So this ditch had a fence here, keeping the cattle from coming over. If you want a road across here, but you don't want to have a gate that you have to open and shut every time you're going across the road, you put this cattle grate here. And this cattle grate, magically, when a cow walks up to it, they won't step over this. They don't have the ability to step on each little rung for some reason. So this allows you to be able to drive over it, walk over it. No gate here, and the cattle will not step over this. Kind of cool invention. Makes you kind of wonder who came up with that. Who thought of that? Who discovered that? So yeah, like I said, people use it as bike trails, and I guess people don't want to get their tires stuck in it. But yeah, this is a road. Now that way is Eldridge. It used to be a road. It used to be actually a road on all the maps. And then back this way, it dead ends at Langham Creek, actually. But where I want to go is kind of this direction. In fact, I'll let you see something really cool. I see a little telltale white paint mark. So yeah, people have been out here hiking around for years and years and years. I guess it hasn't really become until the popularity of mountain biking have there been a need to actually cut a trail through here, kind of. But yeah, you can see the little white hash marks right there. So yeah, let me head this way, see if I can find it. This is more of exploratory. See if there's I find a reason to come back later with a machete and a little more time on my hand, because today I'm kind of short timed also. So yeah, let me just go see what I can find. Now this old home site I'm looking for here, according to 1930 aerial photos, the home site was massive. I mean, it was just absolutely a massive site. It's very similar to a site that I went to, man, a few months ago. Man, was it last year? Or this year? Something like that. Very similar. The aerial photo from 1930, it was a massive site. And I ended up finding a whole bunch of foundations and old carbide gas generator. I mean, all kind of cool stuff like that. And no idea what I'm gonna find out here this time. I'm just gonna keep going that way. Kind of path of least resistance. The site on the map was so huge that it's gonna be really hard to miss it. Plus on my phone, I have it marked with the GPS location, so I can check that every so often to see how close I am to the site. Yeah, there's a guy I watch on YouTube, JP videos. He does his Google finds. In fact, this is actually kind of beautiful out here. He does what's called Google finds, and he'll go to Google Maps. He lives up northeast, like Pennsylvania, out there somewhere. But he'll go on Google Maps and say, "Ooh, look, I see something in the woods or something," and then he will go and hike there, find out what it is. A streamer or something. You gotta see these out when people are hunting. And but yeah, sometimes he finds something cool, and sometimes he finds nothing. He's kind of a cool video. He's very honest, kind of an honest person, and I kind of can respect a person that like that, because he doesn't really hype his videos up. But yeah, kind of recommend his videos. I'll put his channel in the description. How about that? Okay, let me keep walking this way, see how close I'm getting to this old home site. Being that it's winter time, even though it's 80 degrees, the ground is very clear, very open, which I really like hiking this kind of stuff. This stuff makes it kind of easy to hike and easy to see what's around you when it's just open. When it's just thorns and thistles and just brush, it's really hard to see what's ahead of you. Now, according to the Google map and my GPS dot, right now I am in the vicinity of that one giant homestead. Now, back in the late 40s, early 50s, late 40s primarily, when they were turning this area into a reservoir, or a water storage reservoir, and they pretty much evicted the homes, all the residents of this town site of Addicks, town of Addicks. Supposedly, now I do believe it, because 1930 you see a home site. Then 1945, 1947 map, the home site sometimes always sees a pile of rubble or almost nothing there. Supposedly they did go and dismantle these homes for some reason. I know some people did protest being evicted out of their houses, but yeah, it's kind of, see some dark clouds out too. Man, last time I was out here, it rained on me. But basically, when I'm out here exploring this kind of home site, which I know more likely is not here no more, I'm looking for foundations, I'm looking for footers and stuff for a pier and beam home. Water well, a pad with a pipe sticking out of it. Carbide gas generator in the ground. I mean, I'm looking for things that are kind of man-made, and depending on how well they bulldoze this place will tell me basically how much I'm going to find. See, I see these two big trees here, and those palmettos that kind of stick out to me. Like sometimes when you have these big trees, you know, this is a lot of pine forest here. So we have two big trees like this. Sometimes that's a telltale there was a home site. Not always, but sometimes it tells you there was a home site here. See palmetto bushes here. I'm not seeing anything on the ground that's going to tell me that this doesn't mean anything. I know I'm in the right vicinity. I think that's a telltale sign you got an old home site when you start seeing this kind of grass. Yeah, that kind of grass. That's very common near old home sites. But as for this one, yeah, I'm just not seeing anything that's resembling any kind of home site. Anything. Nothing on the ground. No foundation, nothing. Kind of sad. So I'm going to go to the next target, which is got to be another, probably that way, not too far away. And we'll go from there. Yeah, that's kind of cool. There used to be a path, a roadway running through here. Yeah, back in the old roadway again. It got so thick that I had to exit where I was and get back on the main road. Oders is that way, and there should be another old trail heading that way a little bit further down. But yeah, that's an old wooden bridge. There used to be something. Oh yeah, I know it's that way. The upside down cross is this way. That's what that is. I remember now. Now on the old survey maps, it does show symbols for windmills. There's some windmills out here. And over by the upside down cross, there was a concrete pad with a pipe coming out of it. So it used to be a windmill out there. In fact, the next home site I'm going to right now, there was a windmill symbol. That location too. So we'll see what we find. You know, target 1 was a bust. Let's see what target 2 shows. This is a light exploration, really. Now the first target there, that was so easy to see that there should be no reason why I couldn't saw something, and I didn't see nothing. I didn't see nothing. So more likely that place was completely demolished and stuff. Yeah, just keep walking, see what we find. There was definitely a fire up in here. It could kill all the pine trees. Oh, I looked that news article up. There was a fire. I remember reading about it here on the news. that the fire was partially under control, because there's no water out here. Every bit of fighting equipment they had to bring out by hand and truck. And again, Eldridge is that way. This road has a gate on Eldridge, and I imagine they cut that lock or whatever and opened it, and they brought their trucks in here, firefighting trucks in here. And I don't know if they get a pump truck in here, one of those big pumper trucks, but yeah, there's a fire up in here. So I'm imagining. Yeah, I gotta find an article. I remember. I think it was early this year. So let me head this way. This is where I want to cheat a little bit. I'm gonna get as close as I can to the home site using this trail here, because it looks like hopefully it goes in the right direction. But yeah, charred wood. I can't imagine that's what killed the pine trees. Huh. One thing that really makes this place nice is all the pine trees. The pine tree shades the floor, which keeps all the thorns and the thick brush from growing. With these pine trees dead now, it's not become a thicket of thorns and jump pretty soon. Yeah, we'll see. There's some wood there, some fencing. More likely some fencing pieces. I don't think it's natural wood, nothing tree. Piece of concrete. Concrete is never natural out here. Now this place ain't crazy old, so you see round nails. You're not gonna see no square nails. All right. 4 concrete stones. There's a 5th stone here. So this could be where the house was. A lot of houses back in those days had these little stones, and the house would be built on top of the stone. Call them pyramid beam houses. They call them different terms, different depending who you are, where you go. Another piece of concrete here and a depression. Has yeah, look, little threaded studs coming up at it. Something you can mount to that piece of concrete. Yeah, I'm kind of look around. I don't see. Let me look around a little more. Now there is a cemetery not too far from here, up Highway 6. Groshki Cemetery. On the old maps, it appears, and it stays there throughout time. And then just recently, Google Maps kind of removed it off the off the maps. And I kind of want to go out there and check it. I'm not sure what property it is. I think it's maybe part of the Addicks Reservoir, maybe. I have to go to Onyx and click on it to see if there's actually an owner, or if it's City Houston or Army Corps engineer or something like that. But yeah, I'm kind of curious. The cemetery's still there, because it's used to be a homestead. Homestead got torn down years and years ago. There is a road called Groski. I'm probably pronouncing that wrong. And then the next road over is where the cemetery is. So I'm assuming that was all at one time. Pre-Addicks Reservoir was part of the same property. Yeah, I'm kind of curious. There's a gate there, a fence. There's a little drive and a gate, and I think the drive has now become a dumping ground, so I can't drive up in there. I'm gonna have to park as best I can, and then walk, I guess. Yeah, I should be nearing this homestead pretty soon. Should be nearing it. We'll see. We will see. Yeah, I want to go to the cemetery next. Eventually, one of these soon. Oh yeah. Look at that. So Yeah, it's nothing crazy. It's you know, this place was used for cattle, and this is one of these metal cattle troughs. This is actually upside down. What you're looking at there is the floor, the bottom of it, and yeah, this was flipped upside down for some reason. I see a little ditch running right there, which is, yeah, again, not common. One thing about this, about the Addicks Reservoir, every little pond you see is a man-made pond. There's no natural pond in this area. Oh look, yeah, this is barbed wire fence. Barbed wire fence, yeah. Part of a barbed wire fence is running that direction. But yeah, every pond you see is a man-made pond. There's no man-made ponds here at Addicks Reservoir. Most of them were dug out for cattle and irrigation. And now later on in the reservoir's life, especially on the other side of Eldridge, rice became rice production. And so you see a lot of terracing in the rice, where you see the ground and it dips in the ground. You know, you see the man-made terraces are how they used to have the water, and they could flow the water and have pump houses push the water around, move the water around. But yes, I'm in the right vicinity about for this homestead. Let me turn the camera off and poke around, see if I can find anything else. Like I said, this one here, according to the survey maps, had a windmill at one time. Now, I imagine the windmill probably got stolen, more likely, or just demolished and thrown away. Found me a dinosaur bone. Rib. Yeah, I'm in almost right smack in the vicinity of where the homestead should be, and just not seeing anything. Not seeing, not a thing. Another bone fragment. I guess there used to be a lot of cattle out here. We went from a German settlement, ranching, farming, to rice production, and then pretty much closed down, became just a floodplain for Houston. Yeah, I'm not seeing anything. I see like little ground undulations, but that's nothing to really say anything about. There was a site I went to, man, a couple years back. A homestead. There was fencing and all kind of you know, animal troughs and all kind of things everywhere. And I found this one little hill, and I saw kind of top of the hill, thinking that's might be where the house was. It was kind of doing my feet, and I realized I'm standing on a roof, shingles and everything. And the house had pretty much had just collapsed, and just the shingles were sitting there. Oh, right there in front of me. Yeah, what's that? Yeah, some kind of conduit coming out of the ground. Wow. Do you know what this is? I believe that the windmill? The little propellers, the little blades, propellers on it. If that's the windmill, could be. I don't like the disturbing stuff. I like keep things just as they are. But that, man, if it's not a part of a windmill, maybe it's also part of a piece of equipment. Those I don't know. Kind of strange. But that's a piece of conduit coming out of the ground. Another piece of metal. Yeah, another piece of metal. So yeah, I'm in the right vicinity of this homestead. I'm just not seeing a whole lot, and a lot of what I am seeing, like that, you know, that piece of conduit right there. The pipe came out of the ground. It's so camouflaged. Like I'm probably walking right past stuff and not even realizing I'm walking past stuff. Let me walk around off camera and see if I can find anything, so I don't bore you guys more than you're already bored probably. More fencing, fence posts. More fence posts. Full of nails, yeah. I see another one over there. Sky's getting a little dark, like it's gonna rain on me. That's okay though. All right, let me look around a little more before I leave, because this is the video's already getting, I think, a little long. But I'm just finding fence posts, which aren't, dang, okay, which aren't crazy exciting. Yeah, I don't think I want to find anything else out here. Yeah, I do find those two little trees kind of weird. I think they're trees though. I don't think they're man-made. I think they're just trees side by side that just died at the same time. I ain't like, place is pretty though. This place is pretty. But this is where that homestead was. Pretty much where it was. Yeah, a little more. Those 4 blocks were over there. We got some more brick right here. Looks like brick. Yeah, that's brick. Yeah, I'm right here, pretty much where the home site should have been. I'm just trying to use my eyes to scan everything, so I see anything sticking up or anything looks man-made, and it's kind of hard to see. Maybe one day in spare time I'll come back out here, and if I find anything else, then I might do a follow-up. But I doubt I'll find anything else. Let me walk back out that way. This is where I gotta go that way. I'm getting some pitter-patter on my head. There's a little trough again. Yeah, more barbed wire and stuff. Yeah, I got this. Check this out. Every yellow star on this Google map is a location that I have actually went and using different maps and historical surveys and stuff. It's an anomaly, a homestead, something on the map that kind of sparked my interest. So I got a whole bunch of sites I want to check out for 2026. I really want to check them out. Some of these are going to be really hard to get to. Some are going to be really somewhat easy. This here was, I consider, a rather easy one to get to, because I had cheetah trails. Like here, I have the trail I'm on right now. Little cheetah trails that could get me close as I could to that site, didn't veer off of the woods. There are a few sites that a helicopter flying over. Probably can't see it. There are a few sites early this year that took quite a bit of bushwhacking. Backpack, water, food, and a machete to bushwhack my way through to get to that location. Man. So, yeah, some of these sites will be easy, and some sites will be kind of hard. The one thing that really depends on what I do and how fast I do it, is whether or not it is dry or wet. Because out here, I mean, it's dry now. I can walk all day. I'll walk out here all day long, no big deal. But if we get a substantial amount of rain, this dry becomes spongy. And if we have a whole lot of rain, I'm talking like a big spring shower coming up next year or something, where we have hours of this deluge, this now becomes, in some parts, unpassable. The further I head this way, it goes downhill, and we have a dam about 50 feet high that's along I-10 almost. And the water kind of flows through the creeks and drains off and stacks there, and it gets deeper and sort of, you know, comes this way a little bit. So most time when it rains, I still come out here. It's just when we have these big deluges, it gets to the point where you can't be out here because it's underwater. And so hopefully next year 2026, I'll be able to come out here freely without any hindrance on the weekends, and try to go to every single yellow dot. There's one dot in particular, I don't know what it is. This is a weird anomaly on the map, an old map, and that one's going to take some getting to. I mean, it's middle of nowhere, and it shows that it's on a trail, but when I go into a different trail apps, that trail is kind of been in disuse for many years, just because it's a remote trail, no one goes there, and the trails kind of lose their trailness. But this is a trail here, and people bike it. I got those cute little yellow dots. Look at that, those yellow dots marking the way, I guess at night, which I guess you could hike it at night, bike it at night, that'd be cool. But this is a trail, and yeah, if you don't use it within a year, this trail disappears fast, you can't see it. So yeah, I think that'd be cool out here is dispersed camping. It'd be really cool to, you know, just a little clearing here, pitch your tent overnight or something. I think it'd be kind of cool. I don't know if they allow it. I'm pretty sure it's the Army Corps engineer inside the city limits. So more likely, I don't know if it's illegal, but more likely they frown against camping, dispersed camping out here. I know Bear Creek Park, the park itself, it's a city park, and I know it closes at 10 p.m. I mean, the gates close at 10 p.m. But it's not a solid, you know, like Waldorf Park. You know, the gates close, you can't drive your car in their park, but there's no way in the world I couldn't just walk in, you know, type of thing. But people do. So yeah, this road had a name. I think it's been nicknamed Lamb Road recently, but it actually had a name from the person who owned the property at one time. Elders is that way, and this way goes dead ends at Langham Creek. Now, I had one gentleman on one of my earlier channels made a comment that I should try to find the garbage dumps out here. I never really thought about that, actually. This was a German community, Bear Creek Park, Bear Creek, Addicks. Addicks was a German community. Could be with post office and stores and a shooting range and, you know, homesteads and everything. It was established around 1880s, late 1880s, I do believe. And he kind of suggested I go to the home sites and try to find the garbage dumps, because you might find some kind of cool stuff, you know, in the garbage dumps. And that's kind of hard to do because, I mean, it's hard to find foundations out here. How am I going to find a 50-year, a place that had been demolished 60 years ago? I mean, pretty much taken over by the Army Corps engineers. How am I going to find a garbage dump that's under all this brush? I mean, under all this brush here. You know, maybe I can bring a metal detector, but also it depends on how much other just debris out here. Because every time it floods, all kind of debris and just junk gets washed in and out of this place. So yeah, I might do that one day. Give me a metal detector, come out here and just go to the home site and just start scanning back and forth and seeing what what I can find. See what comes up. It would be cool, it would be cool to find some old coins from 1800s, early 1900s. Snuff bottles and other old bottles. There's a home site near Cullinan Park. It has old Lone Star bottles that are kind of on the old side. And a few bottles also I've seen with corked, they're corked. So kind of cool stuff. If you want, if you're into that kind of stuff. Yeah, I think it's cool, but I've never really been into the bottle collecting thing, because that takes space and takes know what you're doing. Before you know it, you have a garage full of this old bottles that 90% of them aren't worth anything. You know, so yeah. Yeah, it's kind of quiet out here. It's kind of peaceful. I think I've always liked it out here. Now here's a cool thing of my childhood memory. Cool thing. Most of the home sites here had like windmills and water wells, those kind of wells. But I do in fact remember from my childhood there being an actual a well, like the Ring, one of those kind of wells where you have your stone hole going down, you have a stone line, and it had like a roof over it. And I remember from my childhood, because me, my mother, stepdad, I think my siblings and stuff, yeah, would come out here, and it was in a field, I guess, or an opening. And we would actually go to it in time, and it was like kind of covered over, so you couldn't get, fall inside or anything. Not sure how deep it was, but I do, from my childhood memories, I do remember an open well out here, not out here, on the Bear Creek Park side, actually. So I might do some research, try to dig some information on that. And again, I could be mixing that memory up with something else. Yeah, it could be. But I just remember it being out here for some reason, because we used to come out here actually quite often. Believe it or not. So yeah, I think that's all I have. Kind of hope this was enjoyable. I kind of enjoyed coming out here hiking around. But yeah, I mean, you sitting at home watching this, you're like, okay, you didn't find nothing except a cow trough and some pipes, a couple bricks. Yeah, that's what happens sometimes. But yeah, like, subscribe anyway. I'm trying to get subscribers. I'm trying to get some. Also, I'm trying to get ideas. I noticed in my videos I don't have a lot of, I don't have a lot of subscribers, and my views are a percentage of my subscribers, and my likes are a percentage of my views. In that descending order. So yeah, kind of like to subscribe, share the video. I think it'd be cool to have some local dudes out here come out here and who are interested in this kind of stuff. And I think if we had more eyes out there combing a grid back and forth, these old home sites, maybe we'll find a whole lot more stuff. So again, that's not everyone's thing, the hump around. Right now the weather ain't bad. It's not hot, but yeah, summertime, I understand. I come out here summertime, it's hot. This is brutal hot. That's my forte. That's me. Not everyone's down for coming out here when it's 102 and jump through the woods with machete. But right now the weather's nice. It's cool. It's wintertime. Right now it's like 80 and raining. I can't pick up the camera. It's raining right now. But yeah, it'd be cool to get some group out here and do a little collaboration. So, but yeah, that's all I got for now. Peace, Addicks.